Hello and welcome to our news coming to you from Canal Algérie. First, the top stories of the news. The President of the Republic is awarded the highest merit order of the Mediterranean Sports Movement by the International Committee of the Mediterranean Games. The Vietnamese Prime Minister is in Algiers for a two-day official visit to upgrade cooperation and partnership relations between both countries. The Foreign Affairs Minister tackles several topical issues relating to the situation in Palestine, Western Sahara and Mali during a press conference. And the Moroccan citizens face demolition operations carried out by the Morsi regime, unaware of their harsh socio-economic conditions. Welcome back and thanks for joining us. First in the news, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received the President of the International Committee of the Mediterranean Games, David Tizano, and the delegation accompanying him. The audience took place in the presence of the Private Principal Secretary of the Presidency, Boualem Boualem, the President of the Algerian Olympic Committee, Abderrahman Hamad, in addition to a member of the International Olympic Committee, Mustafa Baraf. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, was awarded the highest order of merit of the Mediterranean Sports Movement by the International Committee of the Mediterranean Games in recognition of Algeria's exceptional organization of international events and as a token for the President's policy to encourage athletes and to promote sport at all levels. And following the audience, the Vice President of the International Committee of the Mediterranean Games, Mahraz Boussian, had this to say to the newsman.
It is a great honor to be received by the President of the Algerian Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune. It is also an honor for the Mediterranean family, embodied by its President, David Tizano, its General Secretary, the President of the Algerian Olympic Committee, and member of the International Committee. It is a great honor for the Olympic Mediterranean Committee to offer a modest present to the Algerian President of the Republic for his efforts deployed for the organization of the Mediterranean Games in Iran, historic and successful games. And as evoked by the President of the Republic, Algeria today is ready to host these games, which reflects the importance he grants to these games and to sports. I would also like to congratulate Algeria for having such a president.
To another story now, the Vietnamese Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh is in Algiers for a two-day official visit. He was received at the Holbund International Airport by the Prime Minister Sifi Gharieb, along with several members of the government. This visit is meant to promote the friendship relations and cooperation between Algeria and Vietnam, in addition to bilateral partnership in several fields of common interest. Prime Minister Sefer Gharib chaired on Tuesday a cabinet meeting to examine a draft presidential decree fixing the modalities and the conditions of achieving road structure and its maintenance. The cabinet followed as well a presentation relating to improving the schooling conditions, including heating and transportation, notably for pupils living in remote and rural areas. The government followed also to communications pertaining to technology transfer on the basis of innovation and the national classification of recycling and recovery streams. Across Algeria, a new generation skilled youth is rising in Oran. They meet for the first Skills Olympiad, a stage for the country's future innovators. Let's know more with Basma Far.
There are 550 young talents selected from thousands across several provinces of the country, gathered in Iran for the first edition of the National Skills Olympiad. Finalists are beginning their technical tests, held under the high patronage of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune.
Algeria has long believed that skill is a strength and that vocational training is the driving force of productive, excellent, and innovative Algeria. And today, the message is clear. The country is counting on them. We are taking part in the 2025 Skills Olympiad to show the skills we gained during our training. We hope to reach the top ranks. We came to compete and to learn. Because this competition is a real opportunity to grow, we are aiming for first place.
A jury made up of teachers, experts, and professionals evaluates precision, creativity, and innovation, criteria that have become essential in a labor market that is rapidly changing.
I come from Jilfa province in the field of building electricity, where I integrate artificial intelligence into electrical systems. We presented a water treatment project, and I see this competition as a gateway to new opportunities for the future.
A competition designed as a true pathway to progress, preparing a generation capable of innovating and meeting the new challenges of tomorrow.
Still with domestic news, MPs adopted the 2026 Finance Draft Bill during a plenary session chaired by the Parliament Speaker Brahim Bughali in the presence of the Finance Minister Abdelkarim Bouzerd and other members of the government. The bill expects a growth rate of 4.1% to increase gradually in the upcoming years to reach 4.5% by 2028, taking into account the national and international economic situation. Minister of State, Minister of Foreign Affairs, National Community Abroad and African Affairs Ahmed Attaf affirmed during a press conference held at the premises of this department Algeria's commitment to honor its responsibilities with the UN Security Council. Melissa Kabash with more details.
In a statement made during a press conference, Foreign Affairs Minister Ahmed Attaf reiterated Algeria's willingness to shoulder its responsibilities at the heart of the Security Council by the end of its mandate, while remaining faithful to its principles and its history of struggle for its Arab, Islamic and African identity. Minister Attaf indicated that the main priorities of the Algerian diplomacy have witnessed large evolution at the international scene.
منذ بداية عهدتها الحالية.
Algeria has been committed from the beginning of its mandate at the level of the Security Council to align all its approaches, actions and initiatives with those of its Palestinian brothers in particular and Arab ones in general. Within this perspective, Algeria will never change its position regarding its Palestinian brothers and cannot stray from the Arab and Islamic consensus supporting the draft resolution and calling for its adoption by the Security Council. Algeria cannot adopt a position it has been defending for such a long time, as adopting an urgent resolution is a necessity to put an end to all forms of sufferance imposed on the Palestinian people in Gaza.
لمشروع القرار والداعي لاعتماده من قبل مجلس الأمن.
Minister Attaf also indicated that the Security Council did not adopt the Moroccan thesis regarding the issue of Western Sahara, underlining that the file isn't closed.
والمؤكد أن مجلس الأمن لم يعتمد الأطروحة.
Indeed, the Security Council did not adopt the Moroccan thesis regarding the issue of Western Sahara. The file isn't over and remains at the level of the General Assembly of the Security Council and the Special Committee for Decolonization. The resolution adopted by the Security Council preserved in its essence all the fundamentals of the resolution to the issue without altering any of its interdependent and complementary elements.
دون أن يمس بأي مكون من مكوناتها.
Finally, the Foreign Affairs Minister revoked that the settlement of the Malian crisis would be through peaceful and political means.
فالجزائر كانت ولا تزال.
Algeria has always been and still till this day one of the strongest defenders and supporters of the unity of the Malian state with its territory, its people and its institutions, and is working to guarantee the territorial integrity of Mali to fully implement without any restriction nor alternative the sovereignty of the Malian state.
إعلاء سيادة دولة مالي كاملة غير منقوصة وغير مبتورة.
Indeed, when it comes to this issue, Algeria has always been one of the staunch defenders of the unity of the Malian state.
Algeria's Foreign Affairs Minister speaking during a press conference. You are still watching Canal Algérie. Coming up in our news. The Tintin alleged film is screened in France to the great delight of cinema lovers, all eager of a prosperous movies industry. Welcome back to our news. By tapping into global knowledge, hubs like MIT and Amity, Algerian startups are positioning themselves for rapid growth, international cooperation, and stronger role in the future economy. Let's discover more with Melissa Lila Balaban.
A bold and practical new outlook is emerging for the future of Algerian startups. From the halls of MIT, one of Boston's most renowned institutions, new pathways are opening for even more cutting-edge ventures, backed by world-class expertise and deeper technical knowledge.
Here we studied how they design and develop drones, and we're working on bringing that know-how back to Algeria, especially for agricultural use.
We came to Amity, one of the biggest universities in the world, to explore the latest tech breakthroughs, particularly those tied to the startup ecosystem.
For Algeria, it is a valuable window of opportunity, a chance to absorb global expertise through entrepreneurs and investors aligned around a single mission, build a new academic and economic partnerships. It is a momentum that highlights the long-term value of investing in skills, innovation, and the future.
We're very excited about the technical talent in Algeria and the startups that are being born and being built in Algeria right now, and the difference that they'll make in the Middle East and North Africa and in the world.
Here in the US, we've seen that startups are the main engine of the economy, and it's a model we should learn from. In only 5 years, more than 5,000 certified startups have launched in Algeria, and within the next 5 years, we expect them to account for 10% to 20% of the national GDP, which would be a remarkable achievement.
With an ambition to adopt top global practices and define clear targets, Algerian startups are positioning themselves to push the national economy to a more competitive level, increasingly open to the world.
In international news, a wave of demolitions in multiple Moroccan cities has left families displaced, businesses closed and workers jobless, fueling distress and exposing what residents describe as arbitrary decisions with no social safety net. Melissa Lila Balama once again.
Across several Moroccan cities, local authorities, backed by security forces, rolled out a sweeping campaign to seize and tear down properties classified as illegal or non-compliant with current regulations. The operation is unfolding in a climate where residents have virtually no legal or social safeguards to protect them from abrupt, destabilizing measures imposed by the Makhzen.
I'm asking for a proper, detailed technical evaluation from people who are actually qualified. You say you're a sworn state agent, fine, but you're not an engineer. You didn't even conduct a comparative study between the constructed property and the surrounding land. Show me one law that authorizes what you're doing. You won't find one. Yesterday, the authorities kicked us out without even letting us retrieve our belongings. They started demolishing while people were still inside. We were absolutely terrified.
The
scene was unbearable even for those who weren't directly affected.
The situation goes far beyond the shutdown of the Casablanca port. A separate decision by the Ministry of Trade orders the closure of multiple businesses along the waterfront and the dismissal of workers, cutting them off overnight from their only source of income. Many families are now falling into a genuine spiral of distress, and the first cases of psychological breakdown are already being reported, a clear warning sign of a crisis being managed with no social vision whatsoever.
Business owners suffered tremendously. Many left in tears, unsure how they would rebuild their lives after such a brutal decision.
These arbitrary measures reveal the real intentions of those in power, where transparency is non-existent and decisions are enforced unilaterally. More importantly, they highlight a deep disconnect between the country's social priorities and the way authorities respond to the daily emergencies faced by its citizens.
Sports now, and in a second friendly ahead of the African Cup of Nations final tournament, the national football team defeated the Saudi side with 2-0 in a game held in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. The goals were scored by both Riyad Mahrez and Rafiq Belghali. Let's follow more.
كرة للمنتخب الجزائري والهدف الأول للمنتخب الجزائري. الهدف الأول للخضر رياض محرز يضع المنتخب الجزائري في المقدمة بعد مرور 75 دقيقة. الغالي أنيس نبحث عن تصويبة عن مرور والثاني للمنتخب الجزائري. يا لها من كرة ويا له من سيناريو. انطلاقا من أنيس رجل المباراة يتقدم يتوغل يتلاعب بالدفاع السعودي.
A good performance for the national team. A new Algerian sci-fi epic is taking shape. A 90-second teaser of Tin in Hand has revealed an ambitious vision, one that aims to place Algeria on the global map of cinema industry. More insights with Basma Far.
A queen rising from the sands, a mechanized army lost in dust, and a megastructures cutting through the Saharian horizon. The legend of Tin Hinan, unveiled for the first time at set, breaks new ground in Algerian cinema. In this 90-second teaser, the visual style draws from classic sci-fi codes while embracing contemporary aesthetics. Indigo-draped silhouettes stand before towering robots. Tuareg-inspired jewelry is reimagined with a futuristic design, and the mineral light of the Hogar is elevated through VFX of a finesse rarely seen in a rebuilding industry.
Tin Hinan is a story I discovered in Algeria. I realized that Algeria makes people dream. It is open, beautiful, magnificent. It carries stories and legends that are still untouched, a true wealth of this country.
In the footage shown, Tin Hinan, a significant figure in the Algerian history, is not portrayed as a folkloric legend. She appears as modern pop icon, a universal heroine shaped for today's audiences. The visual universe recalls June or Black Panther, but without imitation. Here, the desert is not a backdrop. It is imagined as the technological center of the future. At set, the message was unmistakable. Algerian cinema is not only telling its past, it is inventing its future. No release date yet, but a clear signal. North African epics may soon claim their place in the world of science fiction cinema.
Thanks to our dynamic duet, Melissa and Yusuf, and the rest of the technical crew. By the end of our news, tomorrow, another day of the news. Keep tuning to our channel programs. Take care. Bye-bye.